Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English Flow. I am Mohin, and today I want to tell you a story, a true kind of story, a story about missing the bus, about that moment when you see it driving away and you're standing there alone. Have you ever felt that? Maybe you were late, maybe the bus was early, or maybe you just didn't see it. Well, today, my friend Sarah and we're going to talk about exactly what happens in that moment, and more importantly, what you say, what you do, how you stay calm, and how you get to where you need to go. If you've ever missed a bus or train and didn't know what to say or do, this episode is for you. Are you ready? Let's begin. So, Sarah, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Mohin. It's great to be here.
I want to talk about something that happens to all of us, something that's stressful, but also, it's kind of funny when you think about it. Have you ever missed a bus or a train?
Oh my gosh, yes. Multiple times. And every single time I feel like it's the end of the world. But then, life goes on.
Life goes on. I like that. So tell me, when was the last time you missed a bus?
Oh, it was about a month ago. I was going to work. I was running a little late, not super late, but 5 minutes late. And I was walking to the bus stop and I could see the bus in the distance.
Okay, so you could see it coming.
Yes, I could see it. And I was like, I can make it. I can run. The bus is still far away, so I started running.
And then?
And then the bus driver didn't see me. Or maybe he saw me, but he just didn't wait. He closed the doors and he drove away. And I was standing there, breathing hard, sweating, and the bus was gone.
Oh no. So what did you do in that moment?
In that moment, I felt frustrated. I felt angry. I felt a little bit embarrassed because there were other people waiting at the bus stop and they all saw what happened. So I just stood there for a moment and I took a deep breath.
That's good. You took a breath. What happened next?
Well, I had to figure out what to do. Was I going to wait for the next bus? Was I going to call a taxi? Was I going to call my boss and tell him I was going to be late? There were a lot of decisions to make.
These are important decisions, so what choice did you make?
I decided to wait for the next bus. It was coming in about 10 minutes, and I also called my boss. I sent him a message. I said, "Hi, I missed my bus. I'm going to be about 15 minutes late. I'm sorry."
That's smart. You communicated. You told them what happened.
Yes, and you know what? He wrote back and said, "No problem. We all miss buses. See you soon."
See? It wasn't the end of the world.
Exactly. And that's the thing I learned that day. Missing a bus, it's not the end of your life. It's just a small problem that you can solve.
But Sarah, I think for many people, especially English learners, missing a bus is more than just missing a bus.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right.
Like, imagine you're a foreigner in a new country, you don't speak English perfectly, and you miss the bus. And now you have to talk to people, you have to explain, you have to ask for help. And in that moment, your English brain, it stops working.
That's true. The stress makes everything harder.
Exactly. So that's why we're talking about this today, because in this episode, you're going to learn the English you need, the words, the phrases, the way to stay calm and talk to people when you miss a bus or train.
And it's not just about missing transportation. It's about problem solving in English. It's about staying calm under pressure.
That's perfect. That's exactly right. Listen, everyone, here's what I want you to know. Missing a bus or a train, it happens to everyone, even native English speakers, even people who've lived in the city their whole lives. It is not a failure. It is not a disaster. It is just part of life. And if you can speak English through this moment, you can speak English through almost anything.
That's so true, because this is a real situation. This is not a classroom. This is real life.
Exactly. So you should feel proud that you're learning to handle this in English. Okay, so let's break this down. Let's say you're in a new city. You're taking the bus to work and you miss it. What is the first thing that goes through your mind?
The first thing is panic. Like, oh no, my heart starts beating fast and I think, what time is it? How late am I going to be? Will my boss be angry? Will I lose my job?
Okay, so the thoughts come very fast. You're catastrophizing.
Yes, that's the word, catastrophizing. I'm thinking of the worst thing that could happen. But in reality, it's usually not that bad.
So let's slow down. The bus is gone. You're standing at the bus stop. There's maybe one or two other people there. What do you do?
First, I calm down. I take a deep breath. I don't want to run after the bus. That's dangerous, and the bus is already gone, so running won't help.
Good point. And then?
Then I look at the bus schedule. There should be a schedule at the bus stop. It tells you when the next bus is coming.
Ah, so you have information. You know when the next bus comes.
Right. Let's say the next bus comes in about 10 minutes. Now I have to decide, do I wait or do I do something else?
What are the other options?
Well, I could call a taxi, I could call an Uber, I could call a friend, I could walk if the distance is not too far, or I could just wait for the next bus.
And how do you decide?
I think about the time. If I'm very late, I probably need to take a taxi or call a friend. But if it's only 10 minutes until the next bus, and the bus is usually on time, then I wait.
That's practical thinking.
But here's the important part. If I'm going to be late for work or for an appointment, I have to tell someone. I have to communicate.
Communication. Yes, this is the key. Okay, so let's talk about the English you need. Let's say you decide to call a taxi. What do you say?
You could say, "Hi, I need a taxi. I'm at the corner of Main Street and Fifth Avenue. Can you pick me up?"
Good. That's clear. That's polite. What if you decide to call your boss or your office?
You could say, "Hi, this is Sarah. I missed my bus this morning. I'm going to be about 15 minutes late. I apologize. Is that okay?"
You're telling them what happened, you're telling them how late you'll be, and you're apologizing. Why is the apology important?
Because you're showing that you understand that you're late. You understand that it affects other people, and you're taking responsibility.
That's very important. What if you need to ask someone for help? Like, what if you're at the bus stop and you don't understand when the next bus comes?
You could ask someone who's also waiting. You could say, "Excuse me, do you know when the next bus comes?" Or you could ask someone who works there, "Excuse me, I missed my bus. What time is the next one?"
Notice that Sarah says, "Excuse me," first. Why?
Because you want to be polite. You want to get their attention, and you're not demanding. You're asking kindly.
Perfect. Now, what if you're frustrated? What if the bus was supposed to come at 8:30 and now it's 8:45 and it hasn't come yet?
Oh, then you're frustrated. You might say, "This is frustrating. I've been waiting for 20 minutes." Or you could ask, "Is the bus going to come soon?"
And if you're really frustrated, can you say bad words?
You can think them, but it's not professional to say them in public. It's better to keep your emotions calm. Remember, you're learning English, and part of learning English is learning to express your emotions in a polite way.
So frustration can be expressed like, "I'm a little disappointed," or "This is taking longer than I expected."
Yes, that's better than screaming or being angry at other people.
What if you need to ask for directions after you decide not to take the bus?
You could ask, "Can I walk to?" Or "How far is it to from here?" Or "What's the best way to get to place?"
And if someone gives you directions that are confusing?
You say, "I'm sorry, could you say that again slowly?" Or "Could you write that down for me?" Or "Could you point?" People understand that you're learning, and most people are happy to help.
Okay, let me give you a real scenario. It's 8 a.m., you miss the bus, you look at the schedule, the next bus comes at 8:25, but you have an appointment at 8:30. You're going to be late. You call the office.
Okay, so I pick up my phone, I call the office, and someone answers.
Good morning, this is the office. How can I help you?
"Hi, yes, I missed my bus this morning. I'm going to be about 20 minutes late. I apologize. Is that okay?"
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. See you soon.
"Thank you. I'll be there as soon as I can."
See how natural that was? You explained the problem, you said how late you'll be, you apologized, and you assured them you were coming.
And the person on the other end, they understood. They weren't angry. They were okay with it.
Because you communicated clearly. Now, Sarah, I want to ask you something deeper. When you miss a bus, there's an emotional journey, isn't there?
Yes, there really is. Like I said, first there's panic, then there's frustration. But then, if you think about it, it's actually kind of funny.
Funny?
Yes, because we all do it. We all run for buses, we all miss them sometimes. And in the bigger picture, it's such a small thing.
So the emotion changes over time.
Absolutely. In the moment, you feel like it's a disaster. But 5 minutes later, you're like, okay, the next bus comes in 10 minutes. I'll be fine.
That's maturity. That's perspective.
And actually, sometimes missing a bus leads to something good. Like one time I missed my bus and I started talking to another person at the bus stop. We had the most interesting conversation and we became friends.
So missing the bus gave you a friend.
It did. I never would have talked to that person if I hadn't missed the bus.
That's beautiful. So sometimes what seems bad can actually be good.
Exactly. And I think that's true for learning English, too. You miss a bus, you have to speak English, you make mistakes, you speak badly, but you try. And every time you try, you get better.
That's the real lesson, isn't it?
Yes, it's not about perfect English. It's about trying. It's about communicating even when you're stressed. That's real English.
Okay, so if you're watching this and you're worried about missing a bus or a train, here's my advice for you.
And mine, too.
First, leave early. If your appointment is at 9 a.m., leave at 8:30. Don't leave at 8:50. Give yourself time.
Second, check the bus schedule before you leave home. Know when the buses come. Don't just hope.
Third, if you do miss the bus, don't panic. Remember, you can solve this. You have options.
Fourth, communicate. Tell someone. Tell your boss. Tell your friend. Tell the person waiting with you. Communication solves most problems.
Fifth, stay calm. Your English is better when you're calm. When you panic, your brain doesn't work well, so take a deep breath.
And sixth, be kind to yourself. You're learning. You're in a difficult situation. You're doing your best. That's enough.
Did you hear that? That's so important. You're doing your best, and that is enough. Sarah, have you ever had a really funny moment when you missed a bus?
Oh my gosh, yes. One time I was running for the bus, and I was running so fast that I tripped. I fell, my bag went flying, my books went everywhere.
No.
Yes. And the bus driver, he actually stopped. He saw me fall, and he waited for me.
So the bus driver was nice?
He was so nice. I got up, I collected my books, my face was completely red, and I got on the bus. And everyone on the bus was looking at me. But you know what? It was funny. I laughed about it later.
And what did you say to the bus driver?
I said, "Thank you so much for waiting. I'm sorry for being so clumsy." And he said, "No problem. Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I'm fine. Just embarrassed."
And he was kind about it.
Very kind. And I learned something that day. People are usually kind, even when you're in a difficult situation, even when you're embarrassed. People help.
That's a beautiful lesson. Now, let's talk about different scenarios. Missing a bus is one thing, but what about missing a train?
A train is a bigger deal. Buses come more often, but trains, sometimes you have to wait a long time for the next one.
Right, so the stress is higher.
Much higher. And there's usually more people. There's a ticket office, there's an information desk, so you have more options.
What would you do if you missed a train?
First, I would go to the information desk. I would say, "I missed my train. When is the next one?" They would tell me the time and the cost if I need to buy a new ticket.
And then?
Then I would buy a new ticket. Or if there's a long wait, I might look for another option. Like, is there a bus? Is there a taxi? Could I drive?
So you have options with a train.
More options than a bus. And the people at the station are trained to help. They answer these questions all day.
So you can ask without worrying.
Exactly. Just go to the desk and ask.
Sarah, you've lived in different countries, right?
Yes, I have.
Is missing a bus or train the same experience in different countries?
No, it's actually very different. In some countries, buses are very late, all the time. So everyone is used to it. No one stresses. But in other countries, the buses are always on time. So if you miss it, it's a bigger deal.
Interesting. So the culture is different.
Very different. And also, people's reactions are different. In some places, people are very friendly if you miss a bus. They help you, they give you directions. But in other places, people are more cold. They're busy. They don't want to help.
So you have to adapt to the culture.
You have to be aware of the culture, and you have to adjust your behavior. But your English, the words you use, those are similar everywhere.
That's helpful to know. Okay, friends, we've talked about a lot today. We've talked about missing buses, we've talked about missing trains, we've talked about stress and communication. So let me ask you, what did we learn? First, missing a bus or a train is not a disaster. It's a problem, and problems can be solved. Second, communication is the key. When you communicate, people understand, they help, they're kind. Third, your English doesn't need to be perfect. You need to be clear. You need to be polite. That's enough. Fourth, staying calm is important. Your English is better when you're calm, so take a deep breath. Fifth, people are usually kind. Even when you make mistakes, even when you're stressed, people remember that you're learning, and they help.
And I think the biggest lesson is difficult moments are not about the bus or the train. They're about how you respond. And if you can respond calmly and kindly to yourself and to others, then you can handle anything.
That's beautiful, Sarah. That's really true.
So if you're learning English and you're in a stressful situation, remember this. You are capable. You can speak. You can ask for help. And people will listen.
Did you hear that? Write that down. You are capable. Before we end, let me give you a quick list of the most important phrases from today.
If you missed your bus or train, you can say, I missed my bus. I missed my train. What time is the next bus? Can I wait for the next train? I need to call a taxi. I'm going to be late. I'm sorry. Can you help me? I'm lost. Do you know how to get to? Place. Excuse me, can you tell me when the next bus comes? I apologize for being late. Thank you for waiting for me. I didn't mean to miss it.
These phrases, they're simple, they're polite, and they work in almost any situation.
The key is speaking calmly and being honest about what happened.
Agreed. Honesty is always the best choice. You know, Sarah, before we finish, I want to tell you something. The reason we're talking about this topic, missing a bus or a train, is because it's so real.
It is. It happens all the time.
And it teaches us something important. It teaches us that life doesn't go exactly as we plan. Sometimes things go wrong. And in that moment, we have a choice. We can panic or we can stay calm. We can blame ourselves or we can solve the problem.
And if you're learning English while all this is happening, you're doubly impressive.
You're doubly impressive. You're speaking a new language under stress in a real situation. That takes courage.
It really does.
So, if you've ever missed a bus and felt bad about it, I want you to know something. You're not alone. Everyone does this. And you handled it. You solved it. You spoke English. You're stronger than you think. Okay, friends, if this video helped you, if you learned something, if Sarah's story inspired you, please like this video. Just click the thumbs up. It helps us reach more people.
And please comment below. Tell us about your experience. Have you ever missed a bus? What happened? How did you handle it? We want to hear your stories.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We make videos like this every single week. Videos about real English, real situations, real conversations. We help you speak English the way native speakers actually speak.
Smiling. And turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Click the bell.
Because you don't want to miss an episode. That would be like missing a bus.
Exactly.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for being here, for sharing your stories, for being so real with us.
Thank you for having me, Mohin. This was fun, and I hope it helped people.
And thank you all for watching, for being part of Speak English Flow, for learning English with us. We're so glad you're here.
Remember, you're doing great. Keep learning, keep speaking, keep trying.
And we'll see you next week with another real English conversation. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, everyone.
Together, thank you for watching Speak English Flow. Keep speaking. Goodbye.